Kenneth Nugent. From the station that's on your side, News 12, first at 5, continues.
Yet another wave of deadly mass shootings sweeping across the nation over the weekend. Not all of them make the news, but the violence claiming at least a dozen lives and injuring many more.
But first, school security on the top of everyone's minds after the tragic shooting in Uvalde, Texas.
Now, local school districts are examining their own security to make sure it is up to standard. Will Rio live in the studio with us, and Will, Aiken County tells you they're working to make some changes?
Yeah, that's right, Richard. Even before these tragedies happened, Aiken County leaders say they have been working to improve security in their schools over the past couple of months. Now, here's a few key points the district released in a statement after the Uvalde, Texas shooting. They're adding a new director of security and emergency operations, increasing the number of school resource officers, and updating any safety plans that they already have. Now, we asked the district for details on how these new strategies will work and when we can expect these to be in action. The district says they received a grant months ago for a safety director to come in and take over coordinating all safety measures, create drills, train staff and teachers, and act as a lead spokesperson with law enforcement. Now that will start this coming school year. They're also looking to upgrade entry points to schools and adding school resource officers to schools that do not have one.
Safety is something that we think about every day. I mean, a day doesn't go by that I'm not concerned about student and employee safety. The evil exists in the world. It's out there. And we have to do everything we can to keep our students safe. We have to make sure that we're following those protocols.
Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're looking at new technology in the school district that will help local law enforcement response times in emergency situations.
Previously, Richmond County Schools released a statement saying their school safety and security officers work and train year-round, and they partner with the Sheriff's Office to provide support. Columbia County Schools told us each school has a resource officer with more than 5 years of law enforcement experience. Plus, their buildings are equipped with safety features like buzz-in systems.
To weather now, as I give you...
This is towards the middle of the week in just about 10 minutes.
Across the nation, at least 12 people are dead, more than 60 others injured after 10 mass shootings over the weekend.
People are calling for action as lawmakers are working to reach common ground. Susan McGinnis brings us the latest on efforts to move gun reform forward.
Americans absorbing another wave of mass shootings over the weekend. In Philadelphia, multiple shooters left 3 dead and 12 injured. Outside a Chattanooga nightclub, 3 killed and 14 hurt. Arizona, South Carolina, and more adding to Uvalde, Texas, and Buffalo, New York on a growing list of mass shooting sites defined by 4 or more shots, excluding the shooter by the Gun Violence Archive. After years of failed efforts at national action, states and cities trying to solve the issue themselves.
No 18-year-old can walk in on their birthday and walk out with an AR-15. Those days are over.
New York's Democratic governor focused on gun control. Tennessee's Republican governor looking to beef up school security.
We can't control what we can't control. We can improve the practical, pragmatic steps to making a school safer. We can control that.
In Dallas, moms demanding action, losing faith in their leaders.
People aren't coming to save us from this. Like, we are going to have to push for this to be addressed, especially by our political leaders.
In Washington, the House looking to pass a series of gun measures likely to reach a dead end in the Senate. Republicans arguing Democrats want to take away Americans' right to bear arms.
Turns out guns are actually legal.
But a bipartisan group of senators continues to appear the most hopeful option. Legislation including red flag laws and mental health and school security measures could be presented this week.
On Wednesday, witnesses to the Uvalde and Buffalo massacres, as well as victims' families, will testify before a House committee.
2 teenagers end up in the hospital after an incident at the Broad River Correctional Center in Columbia last week. The Department of Juvenile Justice says there were weapons used, including a shower head in a sock and a lock in a sock. Divine Johnson, one of those victims, she was hospitalized. Her family now wants SLED to investigate and wants the Department of Juvenile Justice held responsible.
I know this is unacceptable, but dealing with juveniles, to have rods or a stick, having rocks brought into the facility, being ganged, where was the CO that was on duty?
The Correction Center's infirmary says they plan to monitor their symptoms when they're released from a hospital.
One of the stars of the Netflix series Tiger King appeared in court today in Horry County. Doc Antle faces federal money laundering charges. The FBI arrested him, and he is now behind bars. He owns the Myrtle Beach Safari. The FBI complaint says over the last 4 months, he's laundered more than $500,000 in cash that he believed were the proceeds of an operation to smuggle immigrants across the Mexican border into the U.S. If you heard about or saw a commotion at the Aiken Y this morning, don't worry, it is open and families are able to go inside again. But firefighters did respond to the YMCA on Trolley Line Road just after 8 for reports of a structure fire. They scouted out the area, they evacuated everyone inside, but we're told firefighters say there was a problem with one of the lights, and they were luckily able to keep that problem just to one room while they waited for an electrician to get there.
If you're looking for a job, Augusta University hosting a job fair tomorrow at the Goodwill Job Connection on Washington Road. Available positions include IT, public safety, human resources, research, and more. That fair is scheduled from 2 until 4 in the afternoon. If you can't make it over, you can also apply online at the link you see right there on your screen.
Okay, golf fans, this one's for you. Here is a chance to buy a historic piece of Tiger Woods memorabilia. It's a group of 5 badges for the Masters Tournament signed by Tiger Woods, and these are special because these are the 5 Masters years that he's won. So the badges for those, the oldest is for his first win back in 1997, most recently 2019, but this set is up for auction. There's 5 days left. It looks like it's at about $11,253. I'm sure it's going to go much higher than that, Richard.
Great collectible for the right golf fan. Well, a local photographer using her success to pay it forward and to help others. We're going to show you the start of her new project ahead. First at 5. Riley.
Well, storm chances are remaining low for the rest of today across the river region, but heading up into the middle of the work week. We'll have that full forecast next.
Time to event of the year.
The WRDW News app on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV store. Even if you cut the cord, you don't have to lose your local news. Just type in or search WRDW, and you've got your local news, first alert weather, sports, and more for free.
When the power goes out, keep everything. Those weekend plans. Saturday definitely looks a little bit wetter than Sunday.
Well, you may remember these photos from one photographer who wanted to highlight local women. Well, now she's giving back to the community once again.
The pandemic was hard on everyone, but especially small businesses. Craig Allison has the story of how Jerry Beckworth is using her gift to spread some positivity.
When we became debt-free, we kind of decided, my husband and I, that we'd just like to give back in any way that we could.
Jerry Ann Beckworth has been a photographer for the past 15 years and became debt-free 3 years ago. The pandemic did slow things down, but as soon as she was able to return to in-person photo shoots, she wanted to pay it forward.
I thought, how could I help these businesses? I got to thinking, and I realized that I could use photography to help market them and promote them and share with the world what kind of business they have.
This past week, she